Hi, this is Rob from SeeHowToDoIt.com. Today we're going to show you how to do a spring startup on your Bonaire swamp cooler. Let's get started. You need to remove all the screws on the unit, and this particular one, somebody didn't put them back, so there's no screws to remove, but we will show you the locations where they're at. You'll have one over here, you'll have one over here, and then you'll have two on the bottom. You'll have one located over here and one located over here. A lot of times the bottom ones will rust out, so you might have to possibly drill them out. Just be very careful not to damage the plastic, otherwise you're going to have to repair that also. So now we can go ahead and remove the cover. Okay, we'll start by putting one hand on both sides and just lift up a little bit. And it might be a little bit hard to get off depending on how much scale buildup you have. Once you have it a little bit off, just like I have it here, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the hose, so we'll show you that. We'll go ahead and pull this apart a little bit, and you can see the hose is right over here, so we'll go ahead and pull the hose off here. And now you could go ahead and lift this out of the way. As you can see here, we do have some scale buildup on the pads, but really that's not too bad. The worst half is the neglect from the inside of the unit from them not cleaning it. You can see you have a little bit of scale buildup here, so we're going to go ahead and start to clean that up. If you do have a shop vac, your best bet would be to suck out a lot of this debris in here, or if you have a leaf blower, you can go ahead and blow it out, or you could even use an air compressor and blow it out with the air compressor. Since this is pretty much straightforward, we're not going to show you removing all the debris, but we're going to go ahead and remove all the debris, and after we have all the debris removed, we're going to go ahead and clean all this out and hose it out. Alright, we've went ahead and shop vac'd everything out, and we also blew out the remaining stuff with the leaf blower. As you can see, a lot of the stuff did come out here, so it looks a lot better. So now we're going to go ahead and take it apart further to even clean it better. We're going to go ahead and remove our pump, and you're going to be very careful because the pumps on the Bonaires are hardwired in, but we do want to remove the pump so we can clean out the basket and we can clean out the discharge line, and we're going to pretty much hose down all this stuff. And we're going to also clean up inside here, and you're going to want to be very careful not to get any water inside the motor. So let's get started on that. We're going to go ahead and take the screws out of the bracket that holds in the pump. There's a 1/4" screw here and one right here, so we're going to go ahead and take those out. Okay, with those out now, we'll be able to remove our pump. And we'll go ahead and disconnect the hose right over here. Be very careful though, because this could be brittle. You don't want to break things. Okay, we've went ahead and removed that. And now we can take the pump all the way out here. As you can see, we went ahead and thoroughly scrubbed our basket and also our pump. Everything's pretty clean there. So now we're going to go ahead and clean up the rest of the swamp cooler. Like I said, you're going to want to be very careful not to get any water inside the motor over here. So a lot of this you're going to want to do by hand and then very carefully spray it off. So we're going to go ahead and thoroughly clean all the inside of the swamp cooler. We don't want any of the scale buildup left over. So we're going to go ahead and thoroughly scrub that and also hose it out. And we're going to also hose out our discharge line for the swamp cooler over here. And we'll show you how to do that. Right over here, this is our discharge line. This comes from the out of the pump, and this supplies our distributors with water. So we're going to go ahead and flush everything out. You could use a garden hose pretty much over here. So we're going to go ahead and connect it here. It's going to come out at the bottom, and you're going to want to flush it out until you get all the debris out of there. And if yours is really bad, you could actually find something to snake it out with, because you don't want any debris in here, because as it comes back out it will clog the inside of the swamp cooler, and you don't want that. So go ahead and thoroughly do that and scrub out the inside of the swamp cooler, and that will take care of this half. Alright, we've went ahead and thoroughly cleaned the inside. As you can see, it turned out pretty well. We scrubbed it with a brush, thoroughly hosed it out. So now we're ready to go ahead and reinstall our pump with the basket. We'll go ahead and put our basket back in the pump here. You obviously put the discharge through the hole right here. We're going to go ahead and connect our discharge line right over here. We'll go ahead and slip that on here. And we'll go ahead and put it in there. And now we're ready to go ahead and put on our bracket right over here. And as you can see, this is the back that will go into the screws right over here. And you also have forks right over here that have to go into the pump right here, just as you see it there. And now we're ready to reattach our 2 screws right over here. So we'll go ahead and put those back in. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our distributor, which we're going to go ahead and remove this screw right over here. And we'll remove this screw right over here, and that will let us slip out the distributor this way. We'll go ahead and slip it out here. As you can see, that has quite a bit of scale buildup, but we've definitely seen worse. So we're going to go ahead and clean up all this pretty much the same way. We're going to soak it, scrub with the brush. You could use some white vinegar, and we'll go ahead and clean that. And we're going to also go ahead and thoroughly hose down all the media. This you won't scrub with the brush because you'll ruin it. We'll thoroughly hose it down. You could spray it with some white vinegar. It'll help break up some of the scale buildup. And we're going to also clean the other side of it, the front of it. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll be able to reassemble it. All right, as you can see, it came a lot cleaner just with scrubbing it and hosing it down. It's a lot better. So now we're going to go ahead and put it back in. So it's going to go in just like this, because you're going to want your screw holes to be exposed here and also on the other side. So we'll go ahead and slide that back in. And now we're ready to go put the screw back in here and also on the other side right there. All right, now that we've went ahead and finished all of our cleaning of the swamp cooler, we're going to go ahead and check the operation of the float and also the operation of the pump. I've went ahead and made sure my swamp cooler is pretty level because we want to be able to check the float operation properly, and we're not mounting it in the window, so I have a block holding it in the bottom so it's nice and straight. And so we're going to go ahead and connect the water supply line, which there's many ways of doing it. I've made that out of an irrigation hose here, as you can see, and that'll connect right to the garden hose. I have another video on that. That's a whole separate thing. So we're going to go ahead and connect our supply line over here. We'll also go ahead and get a wrench and tighten it a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and connect it to our garden hose. As you can see, it started to fill up with water, and depending upon the age of your swamp cooler, you're going to see a water line, which we can see right over here. So we're going to want to go to at least that level, because once the swamp cooler fills up and you turn it on and it's running, the media is going to absorb a lot of water. So as you can see, mine has stopped. If we do push down on the float, you can see it will fill up more water. So if you do need to add more water, you're going to want to bend a little bit down on this, and be careful to hold it back over here as you bend down, because otherwise you can break it off over here. But like I said, as you can see, if you push down a little bit, you can see it's going to fill up a little bit more. You're not going to want to go too much more, because right over here we're at the overflow, as you can see right over here. Otherwise it's just going to pour in there. So this is pretty good, because once we put everything back together, it will add more water as the media starts to absorb it. So now we're going to go ahead and test our pump. All right, now we're going to go ahead and turn on our swamp cooler. We're going to go ahead and aim the hose a little bit this way. We have it on now, so you can see we have really good water flow here. So this tells us our pump is in perfect operable condition. So now we're going to go ahead and put the swamp cooler back together. We're going to want to go ahead and reattach our discharge hose. We'll go ahead and clip it back in there. And when we put on our cover, we're going to want to make sure that this hose fits into our distributor properly. If your hose is not in the distributor properly, it's going to be shooting water out everywhere. And what I do mean by in the distributor, you can see right over here, this is going to connect to your output, the discharge hose. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall our cover now. This is going to be kind of hard to show, but like I said, we're going to want to make sure our discharge hose is connected into our distributor. So you're going to want to very carefully lift up here, get it in position. You're going to want to be a little bit higher up. So this could be a little bit of a pain in the neck. See, it is a little bit, And now you can see we have slipped it down here. And you're going to want to make sure that in the front, we're going to show you over here, that it's fit into the grooves. Down over here, we're going to want to be slipped in a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and lift it up just a little bit. Now it's slipped down in there, and now everything is all reassembled. And now you can go ahead and put your screws back in on the top over here. These screws are probably going to be about maybe 1 inch to 2 inches, which we don't have any of these screws, or the ones on the bottom. And the one on the bottom, those will probably be about 3/4 to 1 inch. And go ahead and put your screws back in, tighten it down. Don't over tighten them because it is plastic, you can break it. Once again, we'd like to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share on social media, and visit us at seehowtodoit.com. And remember, we do have other videos for how to connect your water supply, pretty much everything. Thank you.